Hyderabad hosted its first social impact gathering at the T-Hub. The event was attended by social entrepreneurs, leaders from corporate world, and key startup ecosystem players. The event provided a platform to individuals and organizations who are working in social impact space to network and build partnerships. On the sidelines of the event, I spoke to Aishwarya Kakarlapudi, the PR manager at Telangana Social Impact Group.
Aishwarya, thank you very much. I know it's
you.
a short notice and you agreed to speak to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, as I understand, you're going to be a part of the Daan Utsav, which you're going to be celebrating. Do you want to talk about Daan Ustav? Firstly, tell us about what it is. What is Daan Ustav all about for T-SIG?
Sure. So, a minute about what we do at Telangana Social Impact Group. So, T-SIG is basically an initiative of the IT department of Telangana. So, it's like a bridge between the corporates, the non-profits and the government departments of Telangana. So, we basically act like a bridge between all these three entities to facilitate impactful projects and probably try and see how best we can get all these three entities together so that we can incentivize the CSR funding for the state of Telangana and also help out people working in the impact space so that they can pitch in and they can work together to build an impactful society.
So, how long the event will go?
So, Daan Utsav mainly is inspired by the Global Giving Week in US, and Daan Utsav is mainly celebrated between 2nd to 8th of October every year across many cities and towns in India. Through Telangana Social Impact Group, we've decided to bring Daan Utsav to Hyderabad in a very large scale, and one way of doing it from our end was to basically do it for the entire month and not just do it for 1 week, so that we can probably generate more impact, reach out to more corporates, bring out more impactful or facilitate more such conversations and projects between the impact people.
So, with the month-long event, Utsav would be more of a event where people will come and discuss, or you would be doing something on the ground as well?
So, Daan Utsav, there's no end or start to Daan Utsav. There's no a particular thing that you're supposed to do. There's anything that basically brings out happiness and helps people from underprivileged backgrounds are things that you can do from Daan Utsav. So, as simple as making a sandwich with your community members and distributing it to your housekeeping staff, to probably, or there's so many corporate employees who are working across Hyderabad, and most of these corporates are dominated by the housekeeping staff. We always need housekeeping to take care of and maintain these corporate offices, but they never get enough. We always get offs, we get holidays, but these people work tirelessly throughout the year. So, one initiative that we are suggesting corporates is probably to surprise your housekeeping staff, get divide your workstations amongst yourself and give your housekeeping staff a day off and surprise them when they come to office and say, we really appreciate what you're doing.
That reminds me of my school days.
Yeah.
During Teachers' Day, some of the students would take up the role of teacher.
True.
And take classes.
True.
I think that's a very good thought. Actually.
True. So this is not something that you have to spend your money into. This is not something that you need to spend your efforts into. It's just a very heartful gesture from the corporate side and from the employee side to tell someone that we really appreciate what you do, and you can take a day off, and this is our way of giving. So all these activities that we're suggesting to corporates are in small ways to express their gratitude, to express people that we really care for you, we want to do something for you. And this is not just limited to 1 month or 1 week or 6 months in a year, but we really appreciate if through taking this initiative for a month, this encourages the giving culture in corporates throughout the year.
As an ongoing process.
Yes.
How are you involving startups into it? I mean, are you looking at something startups could do as other than the social? I know there is a social entrepreneurs are there, but then what about startups who are at least the ones who have become unicorns?
So it's really happy, and I'm very pleased to see so many startups coming across Hyderabad, and it's blooming day by day. So what we're trying to suggest, the activities that we're suggesting for Daan Utsav are not limited to just corporates, just NGOs or just startups, but these are activities that each one of us can actually implement across our homes, our towns, our communities. So these are universal ideas that all of us can implement, whether it's a startup, whether it's an office, whether it's a government department. And few of the activities being, I'll just take a short minute to speak about that. One thing is that we're trying to introduce the Rice Bucket Challenge once again in Hyderabad. So when the Ice Bucket Challenge happened, people in Hyderabad really got motivated and they started doing the Rice Bucket Challenge. Then it got a little slowed down, and now through Daan Utsav we're trying to bring it back and say that, you know, the entire month that we're celebrating Daan Utsav, keep a fistful of rice every single day after you cook on a side, and at the end of the month we will make sure that we collect the rice from you and donate it across to our NGO partners who happen to be from NGOs, from old age homes, from orphanages, from rescue homes, from shelter homes. So we identify places which are actually in real need of rice. We do the due diligence and then we make sure that we facilitate that process for you. So what anyone needs to do is just to collect and make sure that, you know, you're thinking about rice and you're thinking about people who need that rice, and you know, keep it aside. That is one thing. Then the other idea was to, what I explained is, you know, we term it as clean for a cause, where you basically think about your housekeeping stuff, or even your maids. Even if your startups have people who help you out, your office boys, what you can do is basically give them a day off and say, you know, we will do it for you. In that way you also understand what it takes to basically do that work in their behalf. So that is one thing. And then what we're trying to suggest people is to spend a day volunteering at a special needs NGO. People are always game for, you know, doing activities which are easy and which are fun to do, but volunteering with a special needs NGO is not very easy. You need to be very sensitive and empathetic to their needs, and also be very committed to, you know, spend that day with them, and you know, in that focus you actually understand what are the kind of problems that these people face and how do these children deal with their issues and all of that. So that is one sensitivity that we're trying to bring through Daan Utsav in this month. And then we're also trying to see if you can record a couple of audio books for the blind people, and these blind people can actually use, I mean, they can actually listen to these audio recordings that you send, and they can prepare for their exams, for their job interviews and all of that. And then we're also trying to see if we can arrange for a blind cricket match between any startup, any corporate, any organization who's very enthusiastic about cricket. We are always a cricket crazy nation. Yes. So we always have people who are always crazy about playing cricket, even if it's at midnight.
The question goes faster and louder actually.
Yes.
If you associate with Bollywood or with cricket.
Bollywood is a religion and cricket is another religion. So what we're trying to see is, so we are closely partnered with the Indian blind cricket team, and we're trying to see if through Daan Utsav we can probably encourage a friendly cricket match between people who can actually see and people who are visually impaired. So this brings out the inclusivity, this brings out the sensitivity.
Because you know, as a able person, you don't understand the challenge.
True.
And if I have to play cricket match blindfolded, I think it's
so the thing is, we always take our vision for granted. We just hosted a blind cricket match recently, and I must tell you that both sets the corporate lost. So they were very confident. They were like, "Arey, hum jaake khel lenge." But then uske baad they were not able to play with them. They were like, you know, I never realized that we were not using our vision at all. We were not using any of our senses. So we're just so confident that we can do everything with vision, that we don't use anything like our touch, our, you know, our ability to listen.
You're not alive to the surrounding. You know, we don't pay attention to the small little noise that's there.
True. Yeah, so that is one thing that we are trying to arrange. And then there is an organization called Dhatri, and Dhatri works with people who are suffering with, they basically work with patients who are suffering from various sorts of blood disorders, from various type of cancers, and various type of ailments which are related to blood. And these things can only be solved if a stem cell blood transplant is arranged or a bone marrow transplant is arranged. All of us are present on multiple fundraising platforms, and we regularly see that most of critical health cases are either due to blood cancer or various other blood related issues, and we only think money can solve the issue, but it cannot. Many times the bone marrow transplant or the stem cell blood transplant can only be facilitated if there is a donor who agrees to, you know, give their blood type for the patient, and the success ratio is so small that 1 in 10,000 people finds a donor. And it's not about people wanting to donate, but it is also about your blood type and my blood type matching. And it is, and it's not as simple as you having O positive and me having O positive. We can have the similar blood group, but then still not be able to match as donors. What you need to do here is basically take a earbud, swab your cheek, and that sample is tested as your blood type. That blood type, if it matches with the patient, then you are allowed to give a stem cell blood transplant, and that life can actually be saved. And it is as simple as doing platelet donation. It probably takes 2 to 3 hours extra because it's a bit of a lengthy procedure, but then it's as simple as donating blood. It's just that, you know, this organization is struggling to find donors, and through T-SIG what we're trying to arrange for is hosting camps like these in many corporate startups, any organization that you would name. We'd want people to fill out a simple form, give their sample. The organization is going to pay their own money and try and test it and see if they can find a donor. In this means we'll be collecting a lot of donors, and whenever there's a need, we'll stand at a higher chance of finding a potential donor. So this is one thing that we are trying to do. And
so as a PR specialist, how are you packaging it? Because there's so much to say and so much to do. You know, so how are you taking the message across?
I'm not a PR specialist as such, definitely not as experienced as you, but yeah, so what we do is we're trying to enable communication through various sources, through emails, through WhatsApp groups, through calls, and, you know, one-on-one meetings where we're trying to process information in a way that is very understandable to corporates. Try and send out introductory mails where ideas for each of the activities are detailedly described, and we're not very particular about doing point by point, bit by bit, but we're also open to taking ideas from corporates. So, you know, the various sources of communication are actually happening, and the more that you speak to them, the more that you clear your doubts, it gets easier for us also to facilitate.
Thank you, Aishwarya.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.